Alright, so today I'm gonna show y'all the simplest way I can to explain why the AC gets cold. So, if you have a garden hose at home, god dang, my hand's dirty. Don't focus on that though. So if you have a garden hose at home, I'm gonna give you a little experiment to try. Damn, I'm telling y'all not to look at my hands. I can't stop looking at them dirty things. God dang. Y'all wouldn't believe me if I told y'all I washed them. I need to go get me a pedicure or something. Alright, so let's say this little box here, this represents your house. And this box here, this is your garden hose. Now, if your garden hose is out in the sun and it still has a bunch of water inside of it, then of course naturally it's gonna be hot, right? Well, when you open up your garden hose and you turn it on and you let the water flow, this that's inside the house, because it runs under the house's foundation and it runs underground, this water is still cool. So because this water is cool, it pushes out through the hose and it flushes all the hot water out. Yeah, you're gonna get hot water at first, and then once all the hot water's been flushed out, now you have a cool hose because all of this water is now cool now. And then on the outside of the hose starts to get cool to the touch too, because all your water is flowing through it now. So whenever it starts to flow through it like that, all you doing, all the heat that's built up around it, all you doing is getting swept away in this flow of that cool water. And even if the water was warm or mildly cool, that mildly cool water is still sweeping away all this heat, and it's all going out that pipe on the other end, which keeps this line still cold. So now, say you in a car or you inside a house. What the house does is gonna replace this water with something called refrigerant. What the refrigerant is just a chemical. It's a chemical that if you put it under high pressure, it gets really, really cold. So now instead of a house, let's say this is your AC compressor now. So I'll put that. Yeah, AC compressor. It looks like Delta compressor. But anyway, so this is your AC compressor. All it does is it pushes the fluid into a high pressure state and then forces it out through this hose. Now this hose is at a high pressure. Now what it's gonna do is gonna come around and it's gonna come inside of a little core. It's my first time drawing like this. It's actually easier than it looks, but it's still a little bit challenging. So this is gonna be a little core. Now, once it's at a high pressure, it's gonna flow through this core. It's gonna be nice and cool. And now all the air in the car or in your house, all that air is around there. Well, you don't want the air to be hot. So, like with the water hose, all it's gonna do is gonna take it and pull all that heat out, and it's gonna flush it through the pipe. And it's gonna flush it back around. And once it gets to this point is hot again, because all the coolness happened in here. And while it's happening, you got a big old fan. We're gonna make what is that, a pea ice cream man? I'm trying to do drawings I can't even draw. We do it like that. It's a fan, not a sunflower. Don't say that. The fan's gonna blow some air. And then it's gonna come off of this pipe. And now this pipe is gonna go into your house, and it's gonna make the air come out nice and cool. That's a snowflake. Hold up. Okay, well, that's a snowflake. All right, gotcha. All right. So after that happens, you're gonna have another cycle go through. It's gonna take it through the back. Dude's coming here on the phone, man. That's why you do stuff in your room. Once it comes through the back, it's gonna go through another compressor. This is your outside unit. What this does, just like this one down here, it has a bunch of coils in it. So, there's a bunch of coils wrapped around. And all this fan is gonna do, this fan is gonna blow down or up. It don't matter. I think most of them blow up. Yeah. So when it blows up, it just sucks in the outside air straight into the coils. Well, like our water analogy earlier, once you have fresh air, the nice cool air hitting the pipes, well, it's gonna cool them down. It's gonna cool down all that water. So now the water's getting cooled down. It's gonna start up there and it's gonna work its way down here until it's cold again. And then, of course, you know, it's not gonna cool it all the way down to that freezing temperature. So that's where your compressor comes back in. It goes through the compressor again. The compressor's gonna squeeze it into a high pressure liquid again, because at this point over here, at this point, it pretty much lost all of that pressure taking in that air. And I can't really explain that because it's like a whole physics thing, but it loses a bunch of compression taking in that hot air. And so it comes back out. It's still under pressure. It's just not as high pressure as it was when it left the pump. So it comes back out, and then your cycle just starts over again from the compressor back to the hose. And that just makes it cold. Let's see. Let me draw a line like that. Going into the house. Now that house is probably freezing because the AC unit bigger than the entire house. But that's the basic principle of that, though. Oh, that's all it is. If you want to experience it firsthand, it's really not that hard. If you have a sink at home, you got a nice big old faucet. Let me see if I can make what's in my head come out on the paper. Y'all know what a sink look like. If you got a sink at home, turn on your hot water, let it run for a minute. You're gonna feel the faucet get hot. And then you can do the same. Turn on your cold water, you're gonna feel the whole faucet get cold again. It's that cycle of the water passing through and going back through an outlet that makes it cold. That's just the basic physics of that. And with the AC compressor, with the AC system, that's all it's adding. All it's adding is a gas, and it's adding a lot of pressure. And that makes it hot, that makes it cold. Excuse me, I had a nasty burp there. But yeah. Alright, I think I done explained this with enough corny jokes in it. That's all I got. If you have a question on that, message me and type it in the comment, because I'd really like to just answer it honestly. If you think I can find a better way to do some of my drawings, yeah, tell me that too, because I'll be watching some of those people and I like how they do it. But yeah. There you go, just for reference, just for y'all.